Okay, so today I wanted to talk about the whole Robert Pattinson situation. So, if you don't know about it, basically, in a GQ interview that they did with Robert Pattinson, he let it slip that he isn't actually working out for the Batman during quarantine. To be more specific, the studio wants him to work out. They even hired him a trainer, but he's just ignoring her apparently. And so, here's the thing. Is it really that big of a deal if Robert Pattinson isn't absolutely jacked in the Batman? Not really. I don't think so. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that you get a good actor for the role. That's why you don't go out and get like a bodybuilder to play Batman, because a bodybuilder isn't going to act well, and that is the most important thing, right? So if Robert Pattinson isn't as big as Ben Affleck, that's fine. But, I'd like to see him be in decent shape, right? Like, Christian Bale, that's, the minimum, right? Like, at least be, really cut, right? At least, be in, really good shape, even if you're not jacked. But that's the thing with me. At the end of the day, Robert Pattinson, he doesn't, owe us anything. I've seen some people say that, he owes the fans to be jacked, right? No, he doesn't. No actor, no director, no writer owes you any specific interpretation of your favorite character. The main thing here is that the studio is asking him to get into better shape. The studio, who's paying him millions of dollars, is asking him to work out a bit. Because that's the thing. The studio hired him a personal trainer who's literally just left him an exercise ball and a single weight. Not even 2 dumbbells. 1 dumbbell. Just to, I guess, probably just work out for a bit. That's all it sounds like it is. And he can't even do that. I'm sorry, dude. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play this role, and you're just nah, I'm Robert Pattinson. I'm much too precious and special for this. That's kind of the bit that gets me. At the end of the day, does Batman need to be insanely jacked for the movie to be good? No, but if the studio who's paying you millions of dollars wants you to work out a bit, then just shut up and work out a bit. That's the thing. And even in the GQ article, they mentioned that Zoe Kravitz is working out apparently 5 days a week during quarantine. Really, your co-star Zoe Kravitz is putting in the effort and to really commit to the role, and you're just nah, I'm good. He's British, right? I have no idea what he sounds like. No, I'm good. He's just being a bit of a bitch, a bit of a little entitled prick. He's kind of being that. And that's the thing too, his whole justification is that he says, I think if you're working out all the time, you're part of the problem, he says. And I think when he says that, he's basically talking about this expectations that people have. I don't know if he's talking specifically about comic book movies or just about movies in general, but it's this expectation of having to be insanely jacked, right? If you're going to be in a comic book movie, but also if you're going to be in an action movie, I guess. But dude, if this is what you thought, and I don't think that's an unreasonable point to make. Yeah, there probably is too high of an expectation for actors, right? Kind of in the same way that maybe there's this whole image that we have of what women have to look like in movies, or right? Maybe yeah, that's not a terrible point. Maybe there is an unrealistic image that we have for men in movies. But if you thought that, then why did you take the role? Why did you take the role? You knew that this was going to be a requirement. You knew that you were going to have to work out if you wanted to be Batman. Like, what did he think? That's the part that confuses me the most. Like, in this instance, Robert Pattinson, he's not like he's not like a game developer, right? How, you know how like in gaming there's this whole like crunch controversy, to where like, like a game developer, they don't really have a choice, right? They have to like go through crunch, or else they're not going to have a job, because like it really does seem like most AAA game studios, it really does seem like pretty much no matter where you go, you're going to have crunch. You're going to have to do crunch. So like a game developer, they can probably they can complain about unfair working conditions, because they're working like I think like it was something like 16-hour work days and stuff like that. And they're like just like not they just don't have lives outside of working on their games. And it's a thing of where like they can't just go and get another job in game development, because it seems to be the case that this is just everywhere. Robert Pattinson, however, he's like a popular actor. He didn't need to take this role as the Batman. He can pretty much get like a ton of jobs that aren't going to require him to work out like he should be working out, being the Batman. So like if he had this stance, then he shouldn't have taken the role. Let someone else who is actually going to commit to the role take the role, instead of you taking the role anyways, taking the millions of dollars, and then not doing the job that the studio hired you to do. So I guess to wrap up the video, is this an important thing for the movie? Not really. I have no doubt that Robert Pattinson is going to deliver a great performance as Bruce Wayne and Batman, because he is a fantastic actor. And I just don't think it's all that important for Batman to be super jacked. Like, it's fine. However, that's also not like a justification for what Robert Pattinson is doing here. He is not doing the job that he was hired to do, and he's being a bit of a bitch. He is. He's being a bit of a bitch. And that's not something that we should just be excusing because it's not that big of a deal. Like, when you're hired to do a job and you take the job and you take the money for that job, then you should do the job. So I guess that's just a fact of life. I don't know. I don't have anything else.